what is going on, you legend. So in this video, no fluff whatsoever. You're going to know exactly by the end of this video if dropshipping is for you. And I'm going to tell you the ugly truth, because most of what you hear online is said in a way to sort of sell something. So I'm going to try and just make this as easy for you to understand so that you can decide whether or not this is a business model that you want to pursue. And it's the right way to think about dropshipping. So I'm going to give you exactly what I've done in the past. Now, let me just show you, first of all, how to actually fail within this model, because a lot of people talk about the strategies, how to do well, but actually there's a hard truth that some of you need to understand. And if you don't understand this early on, it's going to be very, very hard to succeed. These are just the basic things that beginners just do not understand. And I didn't understand. I wish somebody told me this when I had started out. So listening to too many gurus. So you might literally be scrolling on YouTube constantly. You might be listening to people who are saying things that may not even work for your specific situation. And a lot of the strategies you hear online are mainly just people trying to come up with something unique in order to sell you on something. And so therefore you try so many different methods within dropshipping because you think there's like so many different ways of dropshipping. You know, you sort of now see dropshipping as a thing of like, well, there's this way of dropshipping, there's this way of dropshipping, there's this way of dropshipping. But actually there is so many different things that you can do with dropshipping. But what you're going to do is usually just going to be one strategy, and it's not going to be multiple different things. You know, there's always one strategy that you can just stick to that is going to be best for your situation. Copy pasting saturated products is something that people are talking about all the time now. You know, because you're dropshipping, you should sell something shit, or you should sell something that fucking every dropshipper has sold and just sell it in a different way. Not focusing on creatives enough. Now, this is a huge misconception in dropshipping. People are just so fixated on product. Let's find a winning product. What should I find this and what should I do that? And the product is not it. It is not the product. And I know you might have heard this before, but I need you to truly understand this if you want to understand dropshipping. The product, yes, it's important. And then yes, you do need to focus on finding something that's going to sell based on the market. Is it saturated? Is there people already running this, you know, a million times over? What angle can I test with this specific product? Is there a problem that is not yet being shown by my competitors that I can, you know, satisfy that desire based on their problem? So that is something that you need to focus on when it comes to product. It's not whether or not, oh, do I like this product? Is this a good product to sell or whatever? It's more about the logical reasoning side of it. And a lot of you are not focusing enough on the creative aspect, because once you have the product, that is, you know, the thing that isn't that hard. It is then how many creatives can you pump out daily? How many video ads can you make? How many photo ads can you make that are at a high quality? And are you learning from those ads? If you trust me, dropshipping is not going to be a good thing for you, because you're not going to know what works and what doesn't work. Now, this becomes so easy and simple when people just try to understand why a creative worked or why it didn't work, and then just focusing on improving every single time. You test 3 creatives every day and you're going to be onto something. Shitty offers selling for $45. I have seen this way too much, you know, from people who say join my program and they've just joined and they're like, okay, I can't make more than a few sales every day. How do I take this to actually scale? And I look at the site and it's because they're selling a product for $45. And they're sourcing the product for $5. So not only is that $5 product probably shit quality, they have no offers in place in order to increase that AOV. So how can you expect to scale anything when your traffic's going to be pretty expensive if you're targeting places like US, UK, things like that, and you're trying to sell a product for $45, but it's costing you a shitload to actually get that traffic. So you need a shitload of sales in order to be profitable. If you can't increase your AOV, which, you know, you can by just making a very compelling offer and having more focus. But if you don't think you can do that, then dropshipping might not be for you. And selling low quality items, this also comes in $45. This is a shit quality item. If you are getting into dropshipping, you need to shift your mindset into what this actually is. This is an e-commerce business. Dropshipping is simply a fulfillment method. It is just fulfilling items from China, and you can get high quality products from China. And if you do that, boy, are you going to have good returning customers. You're going to build a brand, and you can actually start to build a brand, not just be doing this for the sake of money. Another thing that you need to watch out for is gambling with your money. A lot of people do this when they start. They just gamble, because I'm going back to what I was saying before. They're focusing on the product too much, and the product is not it. The product is a lot simpler than people think it is. It's about the creative. And if you're gambling with your money, what you're basically doing is you're putting $50 on black, You get $50 profit. Great. I made $50 from that black. Okay, let's do it again. Great. $150. Just made another $50 profit. Okay, cool. Now let's test another product. Shit, I've lost. And now they've lost the money. Now what we could have done is just not treated it like you are gambling. Take that bit of money, find what works, and just double down on what is already working and build that into a sustainable brand rather than just testing products non-stop all day, every single day. That's the biggest problem that people are facing, is just their mindset is fucked on what dropshipping actually is. But like I said, this is an e-commerce business that you are starting. So take it a little bit more seriously. Yes, this can go very quickly for you. And sometimes it can be pretty easy as well. Because like I'm saying, all you have to do is focus on the creatives and do your research and find something that people actually want in the market right now. And once you find that success, it can go very, very quickly for you. But simply gambling and hoping things are just going to hit by spraying and praying is just going to be the end of your cash flow, unfortunately. Now, as I said, dropshipping is simply a fulfillment method. And what a lot of you are doing is you're just testing blindly and treating it like it's a video game. And that is, if you want to get into dropshipping, do not treat it like it's a video game. You have to treat it like it's a business. If you're not treating it like it's an e-commerce brand, you're not going to treat it like a brand. You're going to sell shitty quality products like this. Engravements, you're going to sell not even real gold plated jewelry. You're going to sell fake shit, £2.30 for about 6 bracelets. And that obviously is low quality. But a lot of people are just stuck on the fact that, okay, I need to sell something that is cheap and I can sell it for high. That's not how you do it. You actually find something that's high quality and then make sure that it can solve something for your customer audience, or at least is proven already. And if you don't like refunds, you get chargebacks and you're going to have no repeat customers, so you don't have a business. If people aren't coming back to buy more from your store, you're not going to have a business. I mean, maybe, yes, you can make it work with no repeat customers. That is just great to have. On my stores, I get 18-20% repeat customers. That's because I treat it like a brand. High quality products, so higher AOV. I price my products higher, so then chargebacks are less, as long as you are obviously making sure that that product is quality. And then refunds are less. People just want another item from your store instead of just simply saying, because a lot of the time, dropshippers, we say to people, just, you want to return, okay, can you just accept a 30% refund because of XYZ reasons? It's a common method that we use. But when you sell a low quality product, because trust me, I've done this in the past, what happens is people say, no, I don't want a 30% refund. I want a full refund, because the product is just absolutely appalling. Do not treat dropshipping like it's this. We're no longer in 2021. We are now in 2026. You need quality and you need a reason to sell a product. Now, before I get onto an example creative of something that could actually work, if you were to go ahead and start dropshipping. And, I'm not talking about the different strategies that everybody's talking about, just simple going back to the basics of making pure video ads for Facebook, making sure it's engaging, making sure people watch till the end, making sure that you're using a strong call to action, you're using a strong hook that directs to your target audience. I'm going to show you that, but these are the common mistakes. Strategy hopping, like I said, 10 different strategies because you're consuming information from 10 different YouTubers, thinking that the product is everything instead of actually focusing on the market and the creatives. And then positioning yourself like you're low quality, or even worse, selling a low quality item and positioning it like it's a high quality item. Because people can spot a mile away on a Facebook ad if something looks cheap and it looks Chinese. So there's not much you can do if it is cheap and Chinese, because people just won't buy it. And they'll just buy from the bigger brands that have got custom products. So you need a way to differentiate yourself. And it's not the model that doesn't work, it's that people are literally running it on hard mode. Because like I said, I've scaled my own source to 6 figures a month. My students have scaled to 6 figures. It's not about whether or not the model works. It's e-commerce. E-commerce has been around for ages, but it's the fact that people are running it on hard mode. This is what you need to understand. Now, let me show you just back to the basics creative of what something that converts actually looks like. So this is just a simple product, Korean skincare, right? This was trending at one point. So I found the angle first, hyperpigmentation. Tried every single treatment. Yep. Okay, simple structure. Then transformation, day 30. Never seen it this clear without hyperpigmentation. Day 90. Wow, super clear. And if I was actually to sell this product, I would make sure that the ingredients actually do this. I wouldn't just make this, but this is fully AI created, fully AI done. And if the product can actually help people in this way, and you've seen reviews for it, that this ingredient can do this, then by all means go ahead and do this, because this can truly explode your ad account. And like I said, you only need one winning creative in order to scale. That is the beauty with e-commerce in general. As long as your product is high quality, you have a high price point offer, and you avoid all the noise on YouTube trying to come up with these different strategies and stick to the basics of making good video ads, you're going to see the results from it. Just test daily. But can I even get high quality from China? This is a very common question that people ask. And yes, you fucking can. Yes, you can. I mean, I could go on AliExpress right now and type in the product that I want, and then just try and find the most expensive product on there. What Chinese like to do is they like to find the lowest quality product because it's the cheapest for me, their customer. But I don't want that. And so you have to be very careful. You have to actually find the product on AliExpress. You can use a private agent, which we offer in the program. And so yes, you can 100% get high quality from China. Now, based on this, the only way to succeed is to learn and implement. Please, if you start, do not sit around hoping for your ads to just start getting sales randomly. You know, I could have posted that ad up there. If it doesn't succeed, I would just focus on where is the ad working, where is it not working, and then make more. And then I will learn based on the ad. What angle is working the best? Who am I targeting that is actually converting? Literally look through the ads library, say 50 winning ads, and just watch them and just learn. This is how you succeed in e-commerce, is just by looking at what's already working and just becoming an absolute student. I've done all of this in ecom, but I'm still a student, like the biggest student you will ever find. I'm always looking for ways to scale my store and looking for inspiration. You can simply build a swipe file and then come back to that when you're making your ads. In my opinion, that is the best way in order to scale your own store and to actually learn. Because in my opinion, anyone can start a store that makes them six figures. Literally anybody can, but it just depends on how focused that individual is. Because if you are not focused and you are listening to the noise, you are just skipping from another product to another product and focus on the wrong things, it can go south. But if you're focusing on the right things, this can be completely life-changing. Like I've said, it's been for my students in the past. It has the lowest barrier to launching, it has the fast feedback loop, and it can evolve into a real brand. And I think that is what you should focus on from day one, is focusing on, is this looking like a real brand? Is this high quality? If so, you can scale this to 6, 7 figures, wherever you want it to go.